Hey guys, Pharaoh here with leaguetopten, and today I'm bringing you another Summoner Synapse. Now, this is an organized team playing against another organized team in the Alienware Open bracket, and just as kind of giving a hand to the team, they told me that I should let everyone know that they're looking for a support player. So if you're looking to play support, go ahead and message Zyres the Udyr in game. Now, looking at these team comps, I would say that our blue team is going to be the team with the advantage in lane. I feel like Renekton is going to be able to beat Maokai. Kassadin and Anivia are both going to be playing very submissively until 6. And Corki and Janna can hold their own against Kog'Maw, Taric. And Udyr definitely out-jungles Xin. So I would be worried about Kog'Maw Taric being a stronger lane, but overall I feel like our team has the better lanes, while the purple team has better initiation. These are Udyr's masteries, they're pretty standard. These are the runes as well, also pretty standard. Usually I go Strength of Spirit, but that's really personal preference. So now we're just going to jump straight into the match here. Obvious lanes are Kassadin middle and Renekton top. Pretty standard. Phoenix with cloth and 4 health potions, also standard. Usually what you do when you start with cloth 4 health potions, you're trying to rush something. Usually a Philo Stone, sometimes boots, sometimes a Wriggles. But I don't actually like Wriggles on Phoenix Udyr. I don't think it's necessary. I think you can just get Wit's End and get away with that. Now really that's personal preference. You definitely can pick up Wriggles, and that means you don't have to use blue buff to kill anything ever again. But right now we're just looking at a pretty standard jungle path. Do turtle before you go to Wraith Camp. You get a little bit of help doing wolves and a little bit of help when you do blue. But yeah, nothing too out of the ordinary here so far. Really, what they need to be worried about is a low-level Xin gank, because, and here it is right now, actually. Xin is one of those junglers that you can shut out very, very, very easily, but if he's able to land one of those early ganks, then you could be in a lot of trouble. And what the... Okay, so I don't understand how Kog'Maw managed to die right there. I don't... maybe they went for a turret dive, but really... Nobody should have died bottom lane. Our team got away from the gank, their team wasn't getting ganked and had 3 people. But it's whatever, I guess. We can just move on from that and pretend that didn't happen. So mid right now is probably the right place to be. There's a silence onto Anivia so she can't flash, and here we go. And oh, no. You should never, ever, ever tower dive a character with stuns. Ever. Never do that. And especially as a jungler, you do not go to tower dive people under pretty much any circumstance. If you give away double buffs, you pretty much cost your team the lane, which can snowball the rest of the game out of control. Now, that went pretty exceptionally well for a very bad play. They got an egg out of it, but both of the team got sent back to the fountain, basically. So now we're just going to go back to the woods, quick smite on Wraith, and this, I think, is a waste of time right here. You just saw Xin with blue buff on him. You know it's not up. You know he's not in this half of the woods. You should be ganking mid, and that's what I think we're going to end up seeing right here, yeah. So Anivia doesn't have flash, which means this is basically a free kill. And she is trying to burst down Kassadin, which does not work out because you really can't burst down Kassadin at this level. And I honestly don't think she has any ability power, so I don't know why she was even trying to get away with that. So now we have Udyr doing the right thing here, holding mid lane. Top is pretty much just going to be a farm fest. Maokai is not going to be able to kill Renekton, and Renekton will not kill Maokai. So bottom is where we should be looking at, and here we are. So our blue team is winning pretty handily right now, and here I think that was a wasted flash, to be honest. You really could have just walked up to them, because you had a clairvoyance in the bush. You didn't have to worry about losing anybody. But, to each their own. So what we're looking at right now, they're pushing bottom lane, which I think is smart, because if you push this lane in and then go do dragon, they're going to have no vision. And now we're no longer pushing bottom, we're not doing dragon. So, alright, whatever, I guess. It is a free dragon, you know. Kog'Maw died, and you've got Corki, Janna, and Udyr, so you're going to be able to do it pretty easily. I don't like that Udyr is clearing all of his camps before he picks up blue. Usually blue is a pretty big point of contention, so you want to be there early to be ready for it. But, you know, here that clearly was not a big deal, as these guys, first of all, don't even have the map control to go into his woods, and second of all, probably would not even do it if they had the map control. So, see, it looks like these guys are getting ready to gank bottom, but there's probably nothing's going to happen from that. I feel like that tri-bush is warded because bottom's usually incredibly aggressive, and as soon as they showed up, they left. So, see here, Anivia has blue, and that was easily preventable. You easily could have gone and taken the enemy blue buff because your team had map control, and you knew when it spawned, because Xin did blue first. So, you know that it spawns at like 7:10. But here we see a clairvoyance in near dragon, so they clearly saw Udyr running down. This gank is probably going to add up to nothing, and really sitting in that second bush like that is pointless. So here we move up, and we're going to do an item check real quick. All the builds are fairly standard so far. I really don't know why Anivia has parts for a catalyst and an amp tome instead of just finishing it. And I feel like Maokai really needs to be more tanky than going for Rod of Ages, and he should have boots by now. Other than that, I'm pretty happy with the items. I actually like Manamune on Corki. I know a lot of people don't, but hey, personal preference. And here we see the gank actually happening, and I really don't know how this happened at all, because they saw Udyr running down there. I mean, it makes no sense that they would try and fight, but whatever. So, Renekton gets a kill up top, Xin goes up there to deal with him, and you could really be counter-jungling Xin right now. He does not have red buff on him. You could just invade all of his woods, but Anivia's going up there. Renekton really wants to be leaving instead of sticking around because he got a kill, and he's probably going to give up a kill. Yeah, he's actually giving up a kill right now, I think. Yep, there it is. So that's stupid for you to sit in lane instead of going back and spending the money you got from killing your opponent. That gives your opponent an unnecessary recovery period. Like, you should just be stomping on him relentlessly. Any kills that you give to your opponent that are free are stupid kills. Now this is a good lane gank happening right here. They bait out the Taric to come from the woods, and then they go on. And they know he doesn't have flash because he just used it in the last game. So, great work here. I would tower dive this Kog'Maw all day because he has no healer there and no mana to slow you, so you could really just go in on him as hard as you want, but we're not gonna okay, whatever. Also, bear stancing to push a lane is stupid, so don't do that ever. You guys could go for dragon. That would be the smart thing right now. Anytime you get a kill bottom or anytime you kill off a jungler, dragon would be the right place to be. And we're coming up, what is that, 13 minutes in game? Something like that? You should definitely be checking their blue right now, because blue has a 5-minute respawn. You know Xin took it at like 2 minutes exactly, maybe 2:10. Then he gave it to Anivia at 12, so, or at 7. Should be back up about now-ish. Although it's probably on her already, so you guys probably got nothing to worry about. Udyr, I think, did a smart thing here, and he gave Kassadin the blue because he has Wriggles and a Ninja Tabby, which means he's not going to be taking damage from jungle minions. And this is a good dive here, so good work there. I don't think pushing for the second tower is going to be in your best interest. And one thing I do want to comment on is that I really don't think you guys have been clairvoyancing enough. Like, Xin has done a pretty good job of telegraphing his jungle route, and you should have been able to see him all game long through CV. So really, you should know that his red is up right now, but we don't, so we're just going to go back to base. really work on your clairvoyance. And if your support player isn't good with clairvoyance, then have your jungler tell them where to CV. Because the jungler knows the jungle routes, which means he knows your opponent's jungle routes, which means he knows where to clairvoyance. It's just the way the game works. So, let's see. Looks like they did pick up Dragon at some point, so that was really good. Bottom, I don't think is going to add up to anything. Renekton's getting caught in the woods. We're going to run away. Good, good, good. Then, let's see. Honestly, you guys need to be warding their buffs right now. You need to be warding their jungle. You have a really big advantage, and you need to use that advantage to take control of the entire map. Alright? Like, if they can move without you seeing it when you have this large of a lead, then you're playing poorly. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Let's see, this gank is probably going to be really good. I don't agree with the way he ran. He really could have should have ran straight at Taric, but this will probably get him a kill anyway. And oh, he's got flash up still, so we can go on Kog'Maw. I feel like they're both low enough to dive, so it's definitely a smart decision, and especially with Janna. Like, I would flash right now. You really should not be getting caught by Anivia right here, but Corki does really good damage. Janna manages to barely keep herself alive, and Udyr, I think, stayed in the bushes longer than he needed to. If he would have run out immediately, they would have gotten that kill without having a tower dive. But you've got a full HP Corki, so that doesn't really matter at all. Looks like they're tower diving Xin right now, which is good. Dragon should be up in like the next minute, I think. So really, I think that Janna's wards right now are very, very, like, stupid as far as, like, wasting money goes. She really should be warding more aggressively. You don't need to actually, yeah, Dragon's up right now. When you have this big of a lead, you don't need to see Dragon. You just need to see into their woods, because you should be posturing up for Dragon immediately as soon as it spawns. So this, I think, is going to be a very bad team fight. Kassadin's not here. The enemy team is able to basically funnel them in and Corki split over the wall. But Maokai gets taken down to basically nothing almost immediately. And so does Renekton. Kog'Maw and Anivia doing very, very good damage. But really they have Udyr and Kassadin and Corki still up. So this fight is going to go in blue team's favor pretty much uncontested. So I really don't agree with the angle of that team fight. I feel like they should have waited a little bit, but then Maokai just got his health ripped out. So, you know, whatever. Apparently Maokai is made of paper. Let's see. Dragon definitely needs to be taken down, like, right now. I really don't like Udyr's inventory. I really like Philo on Udyr, because I feel like, you know, you can go Ninja Tabby and then go Elisa's Miracle and get a lot of dodge and tenacity. But I feel like when you're, what is he now? 6-1 or 4-1? You don't need that much GP5. You should just be trying to pressure your advantage. I like the Wits End. So, you know, I feel like Wits End on Phoenix Udyr is very, very, very standard. Now, what they're doing right now is, I don't think it's smart. You guys just took Dragon. You can pressure pretty much any lane you want. But here we're going to look at items. Manamune on Corki. I really like Corki's build. I don't like the Vamp Scepter. I just talked about Udyr. Kassadin, standard. Janna doesn't need Merc Treads yet. Renekton, standard. Taric, no Heart of Gold. Kog'Maw, Black Cleaver. I don't like Black Cleaver on Kog'Maw. I like the rest of the inventories. Except for Maokai, I feel like he should be a lot more tanky. But Black Cleaver on Kog'Maw, a lot of your damage comes from magic, so I feel like the armor reduction is a little bit wasted. But again, damage, attack speed, always good on Kog'Maw. He's really just, and Renekton's doing something right now that I would say is stupid. He's in the enemy woods without anybody there to help him. And he saw them there, and he just stood there and kind of watched like he was going to jump in there and be like, yo, this is my red buff. And Corki's doing something that's even stupider right now, which is he just saw Renekton get ganked by 5 people, and he's just kind of sitting there killing wraiths. So, again, this Renekton is just giving the team unnecessary advantages, and right now blue team's doing the smart thing. They're kind of disengaging from the fight. I feel like if I was purple team, I would have absolutely forced that fight with like a flash from Maokai or Tarek or something. But Cassidy manages to pick off Kog'Maw in the woods, which means Kog'Maw being the primary threat, you guys could probably Nashor if you get proper ward coverage. So let's see, red buff gets melted, enemy team runs through the woods. You guys really should not be up there right now. The team just looked at you, and yeah, so here they show up. You're going to try and tower dive because it's 5-on-2. And this is probably going to go very well for red team, or for purple team, sorry. So it looks like blue team responded fast enough to turn this fight around, so great work on them. And it looks like purple just did not have the advantage at all. So they don't have the damage output to burst anybody down. Udyr used a great flash that kept him alive, and frankly he's pretty tanky already. So now, yep, great time to do Nashor. Absolutely perfect. I mean, really the only thing I would say right now is that Porky really does not need to be anywhere near close to that Nashor, because it's going to lower his damage output from his items. It's going to lower bonus damage. And you really want to kill it as fast as possible. So what everyone needs to do right now is go back to the fountain, buy your items, elixir up, get ready to push in. So here Udyr sold his Ninja Tabby for Mercury Dredge, which makes the Philosopher's Stone, I'd say, pointless. Like, unless you're going to go Shirelia's Reverie, then that item is really just a waste. You could have gone a lot more aggressive a lot sooner. But here they're doing a good job. Janna has oracles, keeping their vision down, the enemy vision down, keeping the enemy woods warded. This is what you should do when you take map control like this. You need to use your advantage to take map control. And this Maokai is really just not having a good day. Like, he doesn't need to be walking out like that. He thinks he's a tank. That's his problem. In his head, he thinks that he is a tank. But when a tank like Maokai falls so far behind, he needs to just, he's basically an ult bot. And he's not using his ult properly here. So here they're probably going to collapse on Maokai. Yep, this guy just, that is not where you parked your car, Maokai. Like, you need to not be out there like that. Jesus. This is really just painful to watch at this point. Like, it's like 23-6. Like, this game is done. They could tower dive right here if they wanted to. And yep, that's how that goes. The thing about this game is that I feel like blue team was just a lot better than purple team as far as early game goes, and purple team's crisis mitigation was absolutely awful. Like, they gave away free first blood bottom magically, and Cassidy was able to snowball because Anivia wasn't able to keep him under control. Xin contributed basically nothing, because that's what Xin does, unless he gets super fed early. And really, I wish I knew what the bans were, so I could have give like a suggestion on what the other team should have jungled with. But really, if Nocturne was on the table, he would have done a lot more for this team. Nocturne's level 2 gank is pretty much as good as Zin's, and he snowballs way better. And even without snowballing, he's useful, unlike Xin Zhao. So we're just going to fast forward through the rest of this, because this game is just totally over and was pretty much a one-sided stomp with, you know, a lot of mistakes from blue team, but a lot more mistakes from purple team. So they're just probably going to keep diving over and over and over because they have no way to punish them. Like I said, guys, I really have no idea how this game went so one-sidedly. But it's been Pharaoh with League Top 10, and I'll see you guys Wednesday.